Well, many thanks for joining us. I am Ansmane Sonyasi, and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios along Kairaba Avenue. Our headlines this evening: President Adama Barrow on Tuesday called on the people of Fonyi to embrace and support his re-election bid for continued development of the country. One of the most recognizable names in journalism in this country, Pandey Rimbai, the founder and editor of Freedom Newspaper Online, has died in North Carolina, USA. The Judicial Service Commission of the Gambia has added 2 new members after their swearing-in ceremony by the Chief Justice on behalf of the President. The National Pharmaceutical Directorate of the Ministry of Health on Wednesday commemorated World Antimicrobial Awareness Week. And in sports news, Gambia's First Division champions Fortune FC were brought crashing down to earth after suffering a heavy defeat against Real de Banjul in their league opener on Monday evening. Stay tuned as we bring you more on these and other stories. And now we take a look at the news in detail. President Adama Barrow on Tuesday called on the people of Fonyi to embrace and support his re-election bid for continued development of the country. The NPP-led coalition candidate promised them more development if re-elected. Alice reports.
Addressing large crowds at Kalaji in Fonyi Jarol, Bondali in Fonyi Bondali, and Sibano in Fonyi Bintankaranai on Tuesday, President Adama Barrow, the NPP-led coalition candidate, urged the people of Fonyi to rally behind his government to help develop the country. He said he views Fonyi equally as any other region in the country, as he expressed delight at the warm welcome accorded him. He is confident of victory in Fonyi as he assured them of development they didn't receive under the previous government, whose former president Yaya Jammeh hailed from the Fonyi region.
Gambia be taranna kulunkono annu malla fi Fonyi to koma lafta Fonyi dunna kulunkono wari lara nyina ko ni Gambia be konti ni man Fonyi konti munta ko Gambia man timma oto Fonyi be Gambia le kono annu mbafala le ko alman fen soro president Jammeh la Mansakunda kono ay marlo men ke nyin sanji mo nin flo alfango dingolo alfango badingolo bar alfodo fen la Mansakunda kono albabe soro president Barrow la Mansakunda.
The presidential incumbent and NPP candidate reminded the gathering that the upcoming election is an important one for the people to vote for progress or backwardness. Among other developments, he assured them that by 2025, every community in Fonyi will have access to electricity. He reveals that his government has various projects worth millions of dollars earmarked for agriculture and livestock, among others, to improve the lives and livelihoods of every Gambian, including those in Fonyi. He reassured Gambians that he remains committed to the principles of democracy and rule of law, which he vowed to consolidate for the progress of the country. Hamad Nkeba, leader of the National Reconciliation Party, said President Barrow is committed to his social contract with Gambians while advocating support for the president on December 4th.
The achievement of our candidate in the last 4 years, 5 years, has been one of the most outstanding than any other president in this country.
Several speakers, including Ami Fabre, Minister of Agriculture, Bori Koli, and Esed Jifanga Jaju, both executive members of the APRC party, National Assembly members, Honorable Raji Samkun Jammeh of Fonyi Jarol, Honorable Kadi Kamara of Fonyi Bondali, and Honorable Muru Kamara of Fonyi Bintankaranai, advocate oneness among the people of Fonyi as they urge them to embrace and accept the IEC-recognized APRC body led by Fabakary Tombong Jatta and its coalition with President Barrow's NPP. They assured the people of Fonyi that the Tombong Jatta-led executive, which comprises prominent people from Fonyi, would mislead the people of Fonyi to go into anything that is not in the interest of Fonyi and the Gambia.
President Barrow tol sonta menna nane president baro wa wudu manjur waru mangu
mansala kabo mansaka dum
nane addandit akila ringude marunga arun adna leje do arunga
an annabi yomol
nane hane kurunga akdi kubanya kati addandit
annabi yomol kabo annabi yomo kadum
abureja arunga na lanye do arunga
koto jumalen toltin tolba ko la men tol lamman salabe duniya banna
nya wala ko na buke katum be kane tarunga on la atum be bane duniya
mansakilin la jamani buka duniya bang
nane arunga ati duniya akona ngolen taban duniya
kontol fonyin kol ngasowola.
The people of Fonyi renewed their support to the NPP-led coalition as they vowed to vote massively for the president, who they described as a unifier and pacemaker. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliu Sise.
Now, away from politics to some sad news now. One of the most recognizable names in journalism in this country, Panderi Mbai, has died in Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. He was the founder and editor of Freedom Online newspaper, arguably for most Gambians around the world, the most widely read news and online outlet in the final decade of former President Jammeh's rule. Mamadou Boy tells us more.
News of his death was reported on Monday, 22nd November, and tributes from the president to the media fraternity to human rights groups have been pouring in, paying homage to his valiant role in the country's struggle to get rid of Yahya Jammeh. Having moved to the U.S. in 2004, Panderi Mbai and his online paper, Freedom Newspaper, became household names as the leading source of news on former President Jammeh's state. The media operating within were gagged with an iron cage of laws and state brutality. Panderi harnessed the safety that his distance afforded him and created an online media platform that effectively became an outpost of resistance against Jammeh. According to Professor Abdullah Sen, Panderi Mbai was among the pioneering writers who had undertaken to chronicle former President Jammeh's atrocities. Much of the revelations heard at the TRRC proceedings were first brought to public attention on freedomnewspaper.com. He appeared to have had a network of informants in the corridors of power, but so much of what Jammeh's government tried to conceal then got their first public airing on freedomnewspaper.com. The infamous coinage, junglers, referring to Jammeh's hit squad, possibly gained white currency through the pages of Freedom Newspaper. In 2012, he wrote a book titled The Untold Dictator Yahya Jammeh's Story, where he chronicles accounts of alleged murders, tortures and disappearances that had taken place under Jammeh. The then president banned public officials from reading Freedom Newspaper. According to TV presenter Sidi Cisse, a former colleague who had worked with him for many years, Panderi, as a professional, was energized by two drives.
And I think what he enjoys is the breaking news. He will always want to be the breaking news. He doesn't want to bring any stale news, and he wants to be the first to break the news. And I think one thing also that I will always give to Panderi is the fact that he can investigate stories.
The desire to be the first to break the news, however, has its flaws. The haste might shortchange the facts, leading to skewed reporting. Some critics have called him a rabble-rousing tabloidal hack, more divisive than enlightening. Whatever position one takes, his socio-political significance cannot be denied, and he should be remembered for being our voice when former President Jammeh had silenced our tongues.
And I think Panderi will always be remembered for one person who stood for the freedom of many, the voice of the voiceless. As you'll always say, the voice of the voiceless, fair and balanced. He believed in fair and balance.
Born in Tuba Murid, Nyamina, Central River region, Mbai started his journalism career at the Daily Observer newspaper in the early 90s and went on to work for other papers and radios before setting up Freedom Newspaper. For QTV News, I am Mamadou Mbouch.
Indeed, a great loss for the Gambia. Our condolence to his family and especially the Gambian media fraternity. Now, the Judicial Service Commission of the Gambia has registered new members after they were sworn in by the Chief Justice on Wednesday on behalf of the President. Mohamed Lamin Choi reports.
I, Mrs. Mary Abdullah Samba Christensen, do swear that I will execute the functions.
I, Mr. Suleiman Samba, do swear that I will execute the functions of the office.
Following the appointment by the President and National Assembly's confirmation, Mary A. Samba Christensen and Suleiman Samba are swearing an oath. The ceremony is presided over by the Chief Justice of the Gambia, Hassan B. Jallow, on behalf of the President. The CJ recognizes the professional track record of the duo, which he hopes will add value to the work of Judicial Service Commission, especially at a time when the judiciary is implementing its 5-year strategic plan.
We could not have had better membership to the JSC. Both of you come to this august body with tremendous experience in the legal field and in public administration and governance, and with a strong reputation for hard work, honesty, integrity, and professionalism. That's why His Excellency the President deemed it fit to appoint you, and indeed the National Assembly, after evaluating your nominations, also confirmed the appointments. So congratulations.
The Judicial Service Commission is an independent organ of the judiciary empowered by the Constitution with an advisory role to appoint judges, recommend the terms and conditions of service of judges, the recruitment of other categories of judicial officers, proposal for the improvement of the administration and efficiency of courts, and the implementation of programs for awareness raising on the administration of justice. The new members are now tasked with contributing to addressing the challenges facing the judiciary.
Welcome, and we wish you all the best. There's a lot of work ahead, of course. You've been sworn in today. We're starting tomorrow. We are having our first meeting tomorrow with the new members on a busy schedule. But I have no doubt that you will bring a lot of value to our work. You also come at I believe at an exciting time for the machinery of justice, the administration of justice in the country.
Having taken their oath, Suleiman Samba and Mary A. Samba Christensen will work in the JSC to support the implementation of the judiciary strategic plan, which has a roadmap for a comprehensive transformation of Gambia's judiciary. Suleiman Samba delivers remarks and expresses commitment to assisting the Chief Justice in carrying out the functions of the Commission.
As a strategic document, its utility should not only be restricted to addressing performance gaps, but strengthening and expanding success and questing to identify not only what is wrong, but what actually works. The objective should be continuous registering of efficiency gains without sacrificing administrative effectiveness, thoroughness in court proceedings, and the satisfaction of litigants to ensure sustained trust and faith of all stakeholders in the judicial system.
With adequate capacity and capital, the judiciary facilitates the promotion of justice delivery with efficiency and effectiveness. To achieve this goal, and under new leadership, the Gambia's judiciary has earned the public's trust and confidence by demonstrating its independence and impartiality in administering justice. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
The report by Mahmoud Lamin Choi will lead us to the commercial break, but we will be right back. Don't go away.
Marble is the Gambia's first ever election app designed to ease access to election information. The app also provides information on all past certified presidential, parliamentary, local government elections and by-election. Marble Gambia has a user-friendly interface, and thus its users will not experience any difficulties in navigating through the features of the application. Will also be able to interact with the source map to know which candidate is winning in every constituency. Luckily, Marble Gambia allows its users to receive live certified election results on election day. Download Marble Gambia today on App Store and Play Store and receive election results at your fingertip. This is brought to you by Gambia Participates and with support from National Endowment for Democracy and International Republican Institute.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522-222, 353-2222.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We reminded you watching QTV News, coming to you live from our studios along Kairaba Avenue, and I am Ansmane Sonyasi. Now, the National Pharmaceutical Directorate of the Ministry of Health on Wednesday commemorated World Antimicrobial Awareness Week to increase awareness of global antimicrobial resistance. Zainab Hydra reports.
Also known as antibacterials, are medications that destroy or slow down the growth of bacteria. We are advised to only take the medication if prescribed by a health professional. Baba Ninsabali, Director of National Pharmaceutical Services and Antimicrobial Resistance Awareness AMR Focal Person, explains the reason for organizing the event.
We welcome everybody to this very important symposium. The reason behind today's meeting is that World Health Organization every year dedicate a whole week to celebrate antimicrobial resistance, and this year is from 18th to 24th of November. As tradition, the National Task Force on AMR organized a symposium to bring together all stakeholders to debate and discuss issues related to antimicrobial resistance.
In the World Health Organization African region, including the Gambia, more than half of all deaths are caused by communicable diseases that can be treated by antimicrobials. Dr. Desta Tirune, WHO representative in the Gambia, explains.
If we don't really address issues related to antimicrobial resistance, it will put humanity in danger, which means people who are actually known to have infections or are diagnosed with certain conditions cannot be treated because there is no medicine that works. So that's why it's very important that we remind every year we come out and we talk about antimicrobial resistance.
According to the World Health Organization, antimicrobial resistance AMR occurs when bacteria, viruses, fungi and parasites resist the effects of medications, making common infections harder to treat and increasing the risk of disease spread, severe illness and death. Karamba Ketha, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health Technical, says the ministry is working with other health partners in strengthening antimicrobial awareness in the Gambia.
The aim of this celebration is to increase awareness of global antimicrobial resistance and to encourage best practices among health workers, policymakers, and the general public to prevent further emergence and spread of drug-resistant infections. My ministry is putting in strategies that cover pharmaceuticals, food and agriculture, human resources, financing, and information system by linking science to practicality.
People are encouraged to spread awareness about what AMR is, share stories about its consequences, and demonstrate how the actions of individuals, families, professionals, and communities affect the spread of antimicrobial resistance awareness, AMR. Zainab Haider, QTV News.
The GCCI, in partnership with the Roots Project, on Tuesday organized a roundtable with equipment and input suppliers to provide linkages between the farmers' community and suppliers of agricultural equipment to boost productivity and livelihoods. Ajibintu Drame reports.
Access to equipment for commercial farmers and finance to invest in agriculture is a challenge for most farmers. The project seeks to address farmers' challenges by establishing a foundation between the farmers and SME suppliers for agricultural equipment to support the level of production for inclusive commercial partnerships. Babukar Saho, acting CEO of GCCI, says the project is significant for farmers to yield more productivity, investment, sustainable livelihoods and ensure food security.
There would be an arrangement in place. There would be a matching grant arrangement in place where the farmers would identify the equipment that they need, and this would be verified by a needs assessment by the project. And thereafter, there would be a need for the farmers to do some little contribution, which will be matched by the project. So the process would be guided. In fact, one of the outcomes of today's platform would be that we would expect to come out with some form of memorandum of understanding.
This is a 6-year, $80 million project and is in its second year. It aims to include all farmers, especially those concentrating on rice and vegetable production, including those in remote areas, Mr. Saho added.
One thing we are sure is that it will go a long way. Rarely would you find an agricultural project in the Gambia which is focusing 80% on women. It is also focusing 25% of the beneficiaries would be youth, and about 10% or so on people with disability. So it is covering a very wide demographic, and everybody is included. And the approach is also a bit more innovative compared to what we used to have before.
Mamour Aliou Jain, the project director, Resilience of Organization for Transformative Smallholder Agriculture Project, Roots, says Roots is interested in increasing productivity and addressing issues of marketing and post-harvest loss. He adds that he is optimistic that the project's ambition will be realized.
Actually, this sensitization started way back in April when we did the regional inception meetings of the project. But at grassroots level, we are already working on engaging the community radios, for example. So they will actually come to know more and more about the project.
Alfo M. Sarr, a farmer and founder of Sarr Green Hectares Gambia Limited, identified as input suppliers for the project, explains.
Agriculture with mechanization is prosperity. Then agriculture without mechanization is poverty. We have been farming for long years ago, 400, 500 years ago, but still now we are poor. But look at other countries like Israel, America, and other advanced countries. They're using technologies which, you grow something small and you earn a better living throughout it. So I think the project objective is very broad and, it's achievable, I think.
The engagement hopes to capture the perspectives of financial service providers to finance the beneficiaries of the project through matching grants arrangements, amongst others. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
And from the report by Ajibintu Drame, we'll now take a look at sports news in a moment. Now, after the euphoria of last season's championship triumph, Gambia's First Division champions Fortune FC were brought crashing down back to earth after suffering a heavy defeat against Real de Banjul in their league opener on Monday evening. Our sports reporter Mamoudou Kajaga watched the game at the Independence Stadium and he now reports.
Real de Banjul stunned champions Fortune in their league opener, coming from a goal down to win 4-1. Mohamed Sane gave Fortune the lead in the 18th minute with a stunning header. Modulamin Demba levelled for Real de Banjul in the 27th minute with a flying header after Kajali Drame's fine run and crush. David Sambu made it 2 for Real de Banjul with another Kajali Drame assist in the 52nd minute. Real de Banjul's third goal came through for the Dabo a minute later. Kajali Drame put the nail in Fortune's coffin with an early contender for a goal of the season, scoring a spectacular strike after substitute Samba Jallo put him through. He bent his right-footed shot over the keeper and into the top corner of the net. Fortune were frustrated as they tried to recover, as Real de Banjul remained resolute at the back, making hopes of a comeback nothing but a dream for the champions. Real de Banjul's coach Baimale Wada sends a message about his team's title ambitions this season.
Well, like I said, we told the boys that we have to put out a marker there for people to know that we are determined and we are going to win this league, come what may, and we have to put a marker. And it was a challenge giving us the champions, and we've set a marker now. So, I'm very happy with it.
Elsewhere, earlier in the weekend, there were wins for Gamtel, Walidan and newly promoted side Falcons. Mamoudou Gajaga, QTV News.
Well, what a way to start the league for Real de Banjul. And I'm afraid that is all we have for you in this bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, here's a recap from main headlines. President Adama Barrow on Tuesday called on the people of Fonyi to embrace and support his re-election bid for continued development of the country. One of the most recognizable names in journalism in this country, Pandey Rimbai, the founder and editor of Freedom Newspaper Online, has died in Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. The Judicial Service Commission of the Gambia has added 2 new members after they were sworn in by the Chief Justice on behalf of the President. The National Pharmaceutical Directorate of the Ministry of Health on Wednesday commemorated World Antimicrobial Awareness Week. And in sports news, Gambia's First Division champions Fortune FC were brought crashing down to earth after suffering a heavy defeat against Real de Banjul in their league opener on Monday evening. Well, do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Until then, on behalf of the entire production team, thanks for watching.